When news broke that Shih Kien and Bolo Yeung would finally settle their rivalry in the ring, the martial arts community went absolutely wild. This wasn't just another fight. This was the collision of two completely different fighting philosophies, two contrasting styles that had been brewing for years. The backstory? Both men had carved their names into martial arts legend through different paths. Xi Kien, the calculating master strategist from Enter the Dragon fame, versus Bolo Yeung, the raw powerhouse who'd intimidated opponents with sheer physical dominance. Their mutual respect had always been tinged with the question, who would win in a real fight?
Kien entered the arena like a predator stalking prey. His reputation preceded him. This was a man who could read opponents like an open book and exploit weaknesses others couldn't even see. Standing 5'8" with the wiry frame of a classical martial artist, Kien represented tactical brilliance incarnate. His strengths were absolutely terrifying to opponents. Kien's mental game was legendary. Witnesses described his ability to anticipate moves 3 steps ahead as supernatural. His technique was surgical precision, allowing him to slip in and out of range like a phantom. The man had reflexes that seemed almost mystical, honed through decades of traditional kung fu training where timing meant everything. But here's where it gets interesting. Kien's greatest strength was also his potential weakness. His style relied heavily on mental superiority and technical perfection. He was a calculating striker, preferring to pick apart opponents with methodical attacks rather than engage in prolonged power exchanges. This approach had served him well against most fighters, but against a pure powerhouse, it could become problematic. Kien's traditional background meant he was used to fighting with honor and discipline, measured combat where technique trumped brute force. Real warfare against a physically dominant opponent demanded different strategies. His conditioning, while excellent for extended technical battles, hadn't been tested against overwhelming physical pressure.
When Yeung stepped into the arena, you could feel the atmosphere shift. This wasn't just another fighter. This was a man who'd built his reputation on being absolutely devastating once he got his hands on you. His 5'6" frame carried 240 pounds of functional muscle that came from years of serious bodybuilding and martial arts training. Yeung brought something Kien had rarely faced: overwhelming physical power combined with surprising speed for his size. His background in both bodybuilding and martial arts gave him incredible strength. Those arms were like steel cables wrapped in human skin. His tournament record spoke volumes. Victories achieved through sheer physical dominance, with a fighting style that simply overpowered opponents through raw force. The man's intimidation factor was legendary. Stories circulated about his training regimen: hours of heavy lifting, thousands of punching bag repetitions, the kind of physical preparation that bordered on superhuman. Yeung could generate devastating power from close range, something that gave him a massive advantage once fights got physical. His mental game was equally impressive. Yeung had that rare ability to use his physical presence as psychological warfare. He'd stare down opponents before fights even began, often breaking their will before the first punch was thrown. This intimidation factor often decided battles before they technically started. But Yeung had his vulnerabilities too. His power-based style sometimes sacrificed technique for force. Against more technical opponents, his aggressive approach could become predictable. His muscular build, while intimidating, could potentially slow him down in extended exchanges, and bulk requires more oxygen to maintain.
When the bell rang, Kien immediately established his rhythm. His movements flowed like water, testing distance and timing. Yeung began his methodical advance, using his physical presence to reduce Kien's maneuvering space. The first significant exchange came 90 seconds in. Kien landed a picture-perfect chain punch combination that snapped Yeung's head back, drawing first blood. The crowd erupted. This was the technical mastery they'd come to see. But Yeung's response was immediate and terrifying. A straight punch that whistled past Kien's ear, followed by a grab attempt that forced Kien to scramble backward. By the fourth round, something shifted. Kien's movement had lost that effortless quality. The constant pressure was forcing him to work harder to maintain distance. Meanwhile, Yeung looked like he was just getting warmed up. The decisive moment came in round 5. Kien threw his signature Wing Chun combination, but Yeung was ready. He absorbed the strikes on his massive forearms, stepped inside, and suddenly Kien found himself in close range, Yeung's world. A devastating bear hug lifted Kien off his feet, followed by a knee strike that sent him stumbling backward. The 8th round was pure warfare. Kien threw caution to the wind, his techniques coming in rapid-fire succession. But Yeung weathered the storm like a mountain enduring a hurricane. When the final bell rang, Bolo Yeung won by unanimous decision. His relentless physical dominance had overcome Kien's superior technique, proving that overwhelming force can triumph over precision through systematic pressure.
Three. Chinese Hercules. Now, let's rewind to Chinese Hercules. This movie is where Bolo really starts to sink. 7. Breathing fire. Proving that he's still